28,920. That is the number of clients IDignity has served in Orange County since we began this unique mission 15 years ago. Imagine 28,920 of our neighbors suffering the plight of not being able to prove who they are, who have now had their hope and dignity restored by obtaining their legal identification documents. This wonderful and inspiring accomplishment is due to the support of our community for IDignity's essential mission. We greatly appreciate your ongoing generosity. My name is Michael Dippy, and I have the privilege of serving as IDignity's founding executive director. Thank you for joining us for IDignity's Souper Douper Fundraiser. 28,920 lives improved. Think about that for a moment. Numbers this large can be hard for any of us to truly grasp. Thankfully, the Orlando City Soccer Club has offered us the use of Exploria Stadium as a visual. If each of IDignity's clients were here with us today, then every seat in this stadium would be filled and 3,920 clients would have to overflow onto the field. It is a humbling and amazing number of lives to comprehend. Yet there are many more of our neighbors that are still in need of IDignity's services. In fact, a New York University study estimates that 11% of adult U.S. citizens do not possess a valid government-issued photo ID. That estimate equates to more than 117,000 residents in Orange County, Florida alone. There is obviously much more work for IDignity to do. Yet with your help, we are confident that this mission can be accomplished. While the number of clients served is impressive, equally important is the impact. The ability to prove your identity typically requires the possession of your birth certificate, social security card, and state ID or driver's license. These documents can be lost, stolen, destroyed, or simply expire. The consequences of not being able to obtain your identification are severe and unrelenting. These documents are often required to access education, employment, housing, banking, social services, proper healthcare, and numerous other opportunities. Yet to replace any one of them is often dependent on your possession of the others. This leads to a necessary catch-22 scenario, such as needing your birth certificate to replace your ID, yet you're unable to obtain your birth certificate because you have no ID. Now you are stuck. At this point, what you truly need is an advocate, and often an attorney, both of which IDignity provides at no cost to our clients. The root problem is actually a paradox, in that access to legal identification documents inherently must be extremely difficult in order to protect the integrity of the identity that these very documents represent. While our society should not lower the barriers to proving our identity, there needs to be an organization, such as IDignity, that will assist those members of our society that cannot overcome these barriers on their own. IDignity is designed to be able to navigate the most complex of identification cases with great success. In fact, for those clients that are able to remain engaged in the process, IDignity successfully assists 96% in obtaining all their various forms of legal identification. The essential services that IDignity provides not only empower individuals with the ability to better their own lives, it also cultivates a society that is more inclusive, productive, and secure for us all. Thank you for joining IDignity in this mission. Here is a story of one of the 28,920 clients IDignity has helped. Her name is Carolyn.
My name is Carolyn Rodriguez. I am 49 years old. I'm a single mother. I have 6 children. 3 of my children are adults already. One of them made me a grandparent. My daughter suffers from a congenital heart defect. She's had 4 open heart surgeries since birth. I love my kids very much. I'm very proud of them. And in order to make ends meet, I have to have multiple jobs. When the COVID pandemic hit, I was afraid. I worked in assisted living. I was afraid that I would contract the COVID virus because I have a daughter that has some underlying medical conditions. And so I often missed work. And due to that, I lost my job. And that led to me losing my home. I got evicted and I was upset. So I left the scene and I just let them do their thing because I just couldn't bear watching them put all my things on the curb, all my memories. And I couldn't bear watch it. So I had to leave. I just let them do what they had to do and I just left. When I finally came back, I was like, wow, now I don't have like my ID, my birth certificate, social security card. The first thing that I thought was, where am I gonna go? And I didn't have any money. So I thought about my children's safety first. And I said, I have to get them a safe place to stay. And then I'll worry about me. So I was just on the streets. I was on the streets, empty and lost. Didn't know what to do, didn't know how to go about it. Never been homeless. People looked down on me and, my self-esteem was very low. Not having identification documents made it very difficult to obtain employment and obtain an apartment so that I can reunite my family again. I found IDignity at a facility for counseling, and the social worker had mentioned IDignity to me. Had I known about IDignity like a year and a half before, I would have definitely been in a better situation sooner. I went there and they took down all my information, and it was like so quick. Like within 2 weeks, I would say, I received a call that my birth certificate had arrived. I felt like I finally exist again in the world. And I was so happy because IDignity helped me get my ID. And then I knew that I would be able to get a good job. And it sure did. I applied for a job through Evan Health, and they hired me on the spot. I felt like a relief because I was like, now I can get my life back together. The most important thing is reuniting my family. Having them come over, I'll cook for them, and we can play games and spend time together. A lot of lost time. I would like to thank the people that give to IDignity. IDignity saved my life. And I know that they will continue to help people in my similar situation. So please give. My name is Carolyn, and now I can prove it.
Wow. Thank you, Carolyn, for sharing your challenging journey with us. Your perseverance is inspiring. It's hard for most of us to imagine what it's like to be so close to so many opportunities to better your life and the life of your family, and all that is standing in your way is your inability to prove who you are. My name is Tony Jenkins, and I'm the market president of Florida Blues Central Florida region. As longtime supporters of IDignity, we've had the privilege of seeing the positive impact IDignity has on individuals and on our community. In fact, I am one of those individuals that recently needed IDignity's assistance. You see, I was raised by a single mom and really did not have a connection with my father other than I had his last name. As a teenager, I asked my mom if I could change it to her last name instead, as she was the parent that I knew and loved. My mom then filed the legal paperwork to have my last name changed. All was good until 40 years later, I was required to produce paperwork from my childhood for a security background check, and it was nowhere to be found. I tried for months and months to acquire this paperwork. I was frustrated and at a loss. I then humbly approached IDignity about this issue. Within an hour, they had located the government agency that had a copy of the record, and within a couple of weeks, I had it in my hand. I could once again fully prove my legal name. Yes, my case is an anomaly in that a vast majority of IDignity's clients are suffering from poverty, homelessness, and unemployment. Yet it's evident that the inability to legally prove your identity can happen to any of us. I'm very thankful that IDignity was there for me in the time of my need, and I know firsthand that the other 28,920 clients they have served do as well. Every one of us deserves the ability to legally prove who we are, and thus have the ability to improve our own lives and participate in our community. With your help, we can do just that. I'm asking that each of you join me in making a financial contribution to the essential mission of IDignity. Each year, through the generosity of many, IDignity is able to assist thousands of our neighbors in need. On average, IDignity is able to assist a client in obtaining all of their necessary forms of legal identification at a cost of just $400 and 6 hours of volunteer time. The return on this investment is substantial, as being able to prove who you are is the crucial first step to empowering individuals to improve their own lives. A first step they often can't take on their own. I'm so thankful we have IDignity in our community to assist individuals in taking this step. Now, I ask that each of you take a moment to determine what you can do to support IDignity. We appreciate any financial investment you can make and welcome having you volunteer with IDignity. I ask that if you have your phone, please pull them out to scan the following QR code. If you are a guest of a Souper Douper champion host, please select them on the webpage. In addition, we'll also be sending you a follow-up email with this QR code and a link to make a donation and register to volunteer. We'll even have an address for those of us that still mail checks. On behalf of the lives you will change, and as one of those lives myself, thank you for your compassion and the hope you provide. It's because of you, along with all of IDignity's faithful supporters, that is able to continue fulfilling its mission of restoring dignity and hope by providing identification. Remember that while soup is food for the body, generosity is food for the soul. Thank you for your generosity and for joining us for the 2023 Souper Douper Fundraiser.
While life is like a box of chocolate, identification is like a bowl of soup. So many disparate elements combining to make the whole. IDignity Souper Douper Fundraiser. Good.